Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes. The chariot as a symbol of power, speed, and divine transport for the scattered tribes of Israel. Throughout Scripture, the chariot serves as a powerful symbol of movement, warfare, and divine intervention. It is not merely a physical vehicle, but a representation of Yahweh's power, presence, and deliverance for his scattered and lost sheep, the descendants of Israel. The chariot is an emblem of swiftness, conquest, and divine transport, often associated with heavenly forces, executing judgment and redemption on behalf of the chosen people. Trusting in Yahweh's chariots over the armies of men, Psalm 20, verse 7. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of Yahweh, our power. In the ancient world, chariots were instruments of war and dominance. The nations surrounding Israel boasted of their military might, trusting in man-made chariots and horses. However, for the true descendants of Israel, salvation does not come from the strength of men, but from the might of Yahweh. This verse reminds the scattered Israelites that our deliverance is not in earthly forces, but in the heavenly chariots of Yahweh, which move swiftly to protect, uplift, and redeem us. Yahweh's chariots move upon the waters of the heavens, Psalm 104, verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. This verse describes the celestial nature of Yahweh's chariots, which are not made of earthly materials, but move through the heavens like clouds. The scattered tribes must recognize that Yahweh's divine power transcends the limitations of the physical world. His chariots, often depicted as whirlwinds or clouds, symbolize his ability to move beyond human understanding, executing judgment and salvation as he wills. This further connects to the spiritual and supernatural vehicles that will gather the elect from the four corners of the earth. The chariots of Yahweh are instruments of divine judgment, Isaiah 66:15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. The chariots of Yahweh are not just vehicles of transport, but instruments of judgment. This prophecy speaks of Yahweh's return in great power, bringing destruction upon the wicked and deliverance to his scattered people. The fire and whirlwind imagery emphasize the speed, intensity, and divine wrath that will accompany his chariots. The dispersed Israelites must understand that these chariots will execute vengeance upon the enemies who oppress them, while simultaneously gathering the elect back into righteousness. The chariots of Yahweh are sent for war and justice, Zechariah 6:1-2. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass. In the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot black horses. The 4 chariots in this vision represent Yahweh's angelic forces going forth to execute his will upon the earth. The red, black, white, and grizzled horses represent different aspects of divine intervention: war, judgment, righteousness, and calamity. These chariots move across the lands where the scattered Israelites dwell, ensuring that prophecy is fulfilled. They symbolize Yahweh's governance over the nations and his control over world events that will ultimately lead to the restoration of his chosen people. The chariots of Yahweh and the deliverance of Israel, Habakkuk 3:8. Was Yahweh displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? Here, Yahweh's chariots are directly linked to the salvation of his people. The chariot is not just a vehicle of war, but also one of redemption, designed to rescue the elect and restore the scattered tribes. This passage reinforces that Yahweh is actively moving on behalf of Israel, bringing both destruction upon the wicked and deliverance for his people. The war chariots of the last days, Revelation 9:9. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. In the final days, Yahweh's chariots will be seen in great number, moving with unstoppable force. The war chariots described in Revelation symbolize the angelic armies of Yahweh, which will come to execute judgment upon the nations that have oppressed his chosen people. The scattered Israelites must understand that these divine chariots will serve as both protectors and avengers, ensuring the triumph of the true descendants of Jacob. Conclusion: the chariots of Yahweh and the redemption of Israel. The chariot in Scripture is more than a vehicle. It is a sign of divine power, warfare, and salvation. For the scattered lost tribes of Israel, the chariot is a symbol of Yahweh's presence, moving swiftly to gather the elect, execute justice, and fulfill prophecy. While the nations trust in their earthly armies, the true descendants of Israel must place their trust in the chariots of Yahweh, which will move across the heavens and the earth to bring about the final redemption. When the chariots of Yahweh return in full force, the world will witness the speed, might, and supremacy of the Most High's plan to restore his people, overthrow the wicked, and establish the kingdom of Israel as prophesied. Let the scattered Israelites take heart, for their deliverance is near, and the chariots of Yahweh are already prepared for their return.